Fox News is attempting to train its audience here, create some sort of muscle memory for them to feel like whoever Biden replaces Stephen Breyer with, it's not that legitimate or it's insidious. They don't have a lot of cards to play because this is many months out from the November midterms. It is years out from the presidential election, so they can't make the case that Mitch McConnell tried to do and was successful in. We're politicizing this. It's too close to the election, as they quickly, with the help of Dianne Feinstein, got Amy Coney Barrett through that confirmation process. So Fox is trying to find their angle here. They're still in the beta testing phase of their narrative formation. Here they are claiming that there's a chance that because the Biden administration has been open about wanting to nominate a black woman to the court, that they might just put Vice President Kamala Harris in there, and then we're just steps and steps away from liberal authoritarian rule. And Kayleigh McEnany seems to agree with this insane theory.
Divisive in America right now, not bringing us together with this further divide. But you said something, too, that I thought was really interesting. So this person has to be a woman, she has to be black, and she's got to be younger. Anybody thinking what I'm thinking? They don't know what to do with Kamala Harris in the White House right now. I can't be the only person seeing this. And you have read, I'm sure you have, Kayleigh, because you and I have chatted about it, we've been reading that maybe something like this could happen with the vice president. He runs again at someone else. Look, I prefer to drink my tea rather than read the tea leaves. But when Jonathan Turley, puts out the information of young black and female, it's hard not to see at least she makes the list. Kayleigh?
I think you're right. I'm glad you said that, Harris, because that was playing in my mind from the moment we heard about this retirement. You know, it is, politically speaking, if you are not happy with your vice president and you want her in a different role, there's no greater role than on the Supreme Court. It's a role that anyone would be honored to have. Again, you know, I would just note there's no reporting to this end at the moment, so this is just speculation. But it's widely known. There is a ton of reporting, Harris, as we've covered here on the show, that people are not quite happy with Kamala Harris, both in the West Wing, outside of the West Wing, Democrat operatives. So it's a possibility. I think she's at least on the short list, and maybe it's a position she'd readily want to consider or accept, given the challenges of the vice presidency, given the frustration she's incurred. I think it's a theory that could be credible.
Or at the very least, it's an opportunity for her to stand up and own the job that she has, that we may find out that she actually relishes and would love to be able to do and would like to take a stab at it. I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt of doing something great, because it's never too late to do something great. We don't know. And reporting that we point to is just...
I like to give people the benefit of my bizarre speculation.
There's no reporting to this effect, but she's got to be on the short list, says Kayleigh McEnany, because Fox News, when they hear young black female, they're like,
how many are there?
But this is, I know, there's a finite number, right? So the short list, by definition, I mean, that has to be, we only know of a few. Like, this is all fan fiction. It's just bizarre. Put this up, Bradley, if you could, please. This is from 2019, and this is more of the liberal fan fiction side here, but this was an actual question that was asked of Biden. If you could scroll down, Biden would nominate Obama to Supreme Court if he'd take it. By the way, maybe Fox should test this narrative out here, because this might scare the shit out of their audience maybe I shouldn't swear. Anyway, to an even greater degree. But Democratic presidential candidate and former Vice President Joe Biden said that if elected, he would nominate former President Barack Obama to the highest court if Obama would accept it. If he'd take it, yes, Biden replied to that question, which is not, I mean, I don't know why you would ask that question. Obama would never take that. It would really cut into his time windsurfing with Richard Branson, and then producing some Netflix series and all the things that he likes to do.
He'd have to take stands on like very severe issues, which is something he's not going to do for the rest of his life.
No. So anyway, that's really it. Like, maybe that's going to be their next speculative because it's fairly clear Biden has a short list of women of color that he wants to nominate, including Ketanji Brown Jackson. She's the front runner, and she's the appeals court justice in D.C. So that's probably what's going to happen.
Do you guys see that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about Feuchtstein?
Yeah.
It's basically Biden like hanging around the Supreme Court, be like, I got somebody you might like.
But I mean, they are right that.
I mean, she's not a benefit electorally.
I cannot imagine that the Biden White House, even as incompetent as they are, see that what she's doing as vice president and the asset that they thought she might be, that she isn't failing fairly miserably. Every media appearance seems to be a disaster, and she has really difficulty connecting to the questions and to the audience. The only time I think she's very successful is when she's in like an effective communicator is when she's in like a Senate interrogation, right? Format, using her skills as a prosecutor. As a politician, she's quite bad. But like, they want, as I mentioned at the start of the segment, they're grasping at straws. They want their audience and the right wing, what do you call the expansive network that responds to the talking points that Fox News puts out there. They want there to be some belief amongst the base that this Supreme Court nomination is going to be in some way hyper-political, in some way illegitimate, in some way involving the very faces that the right wing has been conditioned to really despise, someone like Kamala Harris, someone like Obama. So that is a, what you want to say?
Oh, well, I just think it's like, I think it's good to get black women particularly on the Supreme Court. I think it'd be nice if this was happening in conjunction with the Democrats delivering for like black people and just workers in general across the country, and so it's not just a sort of a very significant representative victory, but I mean, I just think back to Biden being like, look at commercials, there's interracial couples on there.
Yeah, that's the limitations of the way he thinks about the world. But yes, I mean, it's just in terms of the process of nominating a Supreme Court justice, there's going to be nothing controversial or insidious about the way Biden's going to go about this, even though I'm sure he's going to pick someone very centrist, and someone who has a history of not being antagonistic to corporate interests. That's the real controversy. But for the right wing's purposes, the only way that they can talk about it is if they make it fan fiction, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be joined by John Nichols, National Affairs Correspondent for The Nation, author of Coronavirus Criminals and Pandemic Profiteers. We'll be right back.
How much more I got to pay to play it. I know somehow